Hello and welcome to the Powerful African Women podcast.
The podcast will empower the power in you.
I'm Aissatou,
And I am Sarah.
and welcome to a new episode of our Power series.
Yes, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! I mean, the episode is gonna be out a bit after the New Year,
But still, that's our New Year, so we're not going to change the timing and pretend that it never happened. Happy New Year.
exactly. So we hope that you're enjoying this new video format. So check it on our YouTube channel. Please like, share, and comment as much as possible. You also have now the possibility to rate the podcast through Spotify. It's a new feature that I've noticed, so you can also rate us there and share as much as possible. All right, so Saran, we are ready to start.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I mean, I guess I'm ready, so yeah.
Good. All right. So we actually didn't get a chance to talk, in the past few days. So my first question is, how are you, Saran?
I'm good. Always, I'm good. I'm thankful, for this new day and everything. I got a new phone, so I'm happy. Finally, you can see me a little better.
Finally.
But yeah, that's
Great.
pretty much what's happening. I'm just thankful to see this year. How are
Great.
you?
I'm fine. Actually, I currently have COVID, so I'm apologizing
Sorry.
for that weird voice that I'm having once again, but it's okay. I'm good.
Yeah, I hope you feel better.
I am. I'm feeling better.
Yeah, this new COVID is just not wanting us to thrive, but we still will.
Mm-mm.
We will,
Oh.
anyways.
Yes, so actually today I wanted to share a reassuring message. So that's what this episode is going to be about. It's a message that I want to tell all our African women or Afro-descendant women, and it's actually an issue I think that we are facing more and more because of how just the society is evolving. All right, so as always, let's get into the episode with my fireside chat. So for this one, Sarah, I will need just a very frank and simple yes or no answer. All right, nothing
Okay.
more. Yes or no, and you'll see. All right.
Okay.
So are you ready for that one?
Yes, I am.
All right. So I have three questions. Actually. My first question is: do you often compare to your peers with the timing of your life achievements, either in your professional or personal life? I mean, for instance, do you often compare like the age you're gonna get married, the age that you're gonna have your first child, or your career path? Do you often, from time to time, compare that time frame to your peers' time frame?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
You see. All right. Second question. Do you feel like you are where you were expecting yourself, maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, to be? Like, are you exactly where you were expecting yourself to be currently at that, 25 plus something age? Yes or
I
no?
would say maybe. I cannot say yes or no at this point. I'll say
Mm.
maybe. But if I have to be
Are you
honest, I'll
exactly
say more
where
no
you-
than yes. Yeah, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay. And third question is, the right timing something that stresses you out? The right timing to, I don't know, those life steps like having that job, getting married, having a child. Is it something that stresses you out?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But there was a time it was, right?
There was a time, but that's what I'm saying. Not anymore. I would say no. Let me put it that way because it's not anymore, so no.
All right, great. Actually, if I were to answer to those questions, basically I would have said the same thing, except for the last one, where I would definitely say yes, because it's something that is stressing me out, stresses me out, actually. And I think it's actually something common among us. I think it's common among everyone, but particularly among African women and Afro-descendant women. And I'm gonna explain why. But I feel like in our society, where early successes and instant gratification are highly, valued, we tend to have even more that feeling of failure and higher expectation than maybe a few years ago. So. Yep. My message today is we should all remind ourselves that it's okay to build your life at your own pace. And the keywords here are own pace. Mm-hmm. And by pace, I mean, it might take you a little more time to get there, but you'll get there. Be okay with that. And I think we are, as African women, we have this feeling even more because of, I would say, three aspects of the problem. The first aspect for me is that as you and I, we are facing African expectations because of where we were born, the environment in which we are growing in, and also Western expectation because of where we are studying or where we are currently living or working. And basically those expectations can actually tend to, contradict and oppose, and they can be opposed to one another. First, because if you look at your African requirement as women, let's just say it frankly, it's often going to be about marriage, children, and actually building a family. That's what is often expected by the society from you. And it's just, for this one, I wanted to check a little bit, of data to make it a bit more serious. But I actually looked at the age of mothers' mean age at first birth, all right? So I look at it for a few African countries and France and the US. So I have the data for Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire, and Guinea. Can you guess maybe the age of the first birth in one of those countries?
That can be so young. I would say even as early as 15. 16.
But the average age.
Oh, an average, I would say 20.
Great. Okay, you're in the right, frame. So basically they estimated, so I took the data from the CIA World Fact Book, I checked my data this time. And for Senegal, it's like 21.9 years old. For Guinea, it's 19.9.
Yeah, it's 20,
Yeah, it's around 20. And for Ivory Coast, in 19.6, however, the data are like a 2012 estimate, so it's a bit old. So you were totally in the right, kind of average. And can you guess the number either for France or the US?
Girl, these people, they like to wait forever. So I would say, it's not a bad thing, okay? I would say on average 20, even 20, I guess for me it's pushing it, but I would say 26, 7.
20. Actually, it's 28.8 in France.
You see, yeah.
And 27 in the US.
I'm so good at art. That's my scientific.
Yes.
Scientist in me.
But yeah. In you.
I'm pretty good with numbers. Yeah.
You see that actually the gap is just real, and I have even another statistic. I was talking with my doctor when I was in France, and she explained that in the clinic nearby, the average age of women giving birth was 42 years old. So you see, like there is
40 what?
42.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's great.
That's So just some data to show that it's really the expectations are really different in terms of the time frame. You would be expected from your
No, I was gonna cut really quick. I feel like the 42, that's probably for special cases, like women who it was hard for them to conceive. So like maybe that clinic is really just focused on that. That's why the average is that high.
That's what I thought, but actually she told me no, because the area I was in is an area, of a lot of women who are working. So they would, they tended to wait. And when she told me that age, I was like, oh, wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that number. I would say
Okay.
maybe 35, or whatever, but 42 is really
Yeah,
like,
35. Even 35 is supposed to be starting to be, into the late. So
yeah.
40, wow. But again, it's great.
So it's just show that actually it's okay, the time frame is different. And I would say that, the expectation from the Western world could be actually more about, because of how we are coming here, it might be more about, your career or your studies, having that, being a manager at 30, that it's the kind of expectation you might put yourself into because you are in this society. It can also be having traveling the world before you're, I don't know, 40, whatever, So these expectations are very different, but as African women and related to that diaspora, we actually face the issue of having that double, jeopardy, that double standards that we need to. You actually need to make a choice at one point because those two cannot work, exactly perfectly. So I think that's one of the main issue. The second thing I would say is that the issue is that we often compare ourselves to others, and that's something that is actually that actually triggers me to wanting to do this episode because you just add something like, this person at that age they're already, I don't know, built a house, they already are a house owner, or they're already at this or that level of salary, or they're already at that position, I feel like it's something we naturally do, but it shouldn't mean that because that person did that at this age, that I need to do it by that age. And because of social media and everything we're reading, it's something that is way more stressful than before. Look at the Forbes 30 before 30, It's something I was like, okay, why are they pushing that much, pressure for you to get the feeling that you need to accomplish everything before you're 30,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like I feel like in those, the Forbes study by 30, I'm not gonna lie, it was my dream to be part of them. And I still have few more years. But I do agree that there's a pressure that is not necessary. And again, the Forbes study by 30, I think they do that to empower like those people who have made the list. I don't think it was like, oh, I need to be in the list, It was just like, I'm doing something great. Thank you, Forbes, for recognizing me.
yes.
So so on that case, I don't think like it's the pressure that they're trying to put. But social media is a different story. There it's like, me, like it's more of I have to show everything that I'm accomplishing, everything. If I have a 6-figure job, I have to show everybody. And even now, 6-figure job for some people, it's not enough anymore. Because you just like an average now, like, if I'm working in tech, I have to show that I'm working in tech just at 25.
Yes.
If I have my first house, I have to show that I have my first keys. You don't even know the struggles that like people are going through, even mentally. Like some people at 26, they barely graduated, so for them it's an accomplishment. And seeing stuff like that, people don't recognize the repercussions that they have, like that
exactly.
But again, that's why we always saying social media like is not the best platform to be inspired, even mentally. And LinkedIn for me, it's the same thing. I disconnected away a little bit.
It started to be a bit more
it's starting to become like that greedy platform where people are not true. They're not true to themselves, and they're not true to employers.
And even if they are and they've truly accomplished that and these things happen, I think the issue also is that today with social media, you're confronted daily to that. Every day you see someone in Japan, someone somewhere who has accomplished something. And it's just the fact that you need to face that in such a regular basis that makes it even harder, for someone.
Yes.
So and that actually brings me to the third issue I think that is related to that, is that we often try to control things that are actually out of our control. By that I mean, for instance, we often as girls say, okay, we want to get married before we're 30, or we want to have child before, I don't know, 35, whatever. I'm just taking that basic topic. However, how are you gonna know when you're gonna meet the guy that is gonna be your husband? Or do you are you so sure about your body that you know exactly when are you gonna get that, you know, that baby? There are things you actually cannot control, and it's even harder. I know that, for instance, now it's really like the wedding season. So basically, you open your Instagram, you look at story, everyone is getting married, right? So you're like, okay, this is happening. Okay, I want this to happen. You can want it, but you can control it. You cannot control the pace at which you're gonna get there, you know. So it's actually okay to for you, like for it to happen, you know, in a few years for you. It's okay. Don't put any pressure on you on those things you cannot control, because it's just gonna happen. You cannot control the pace of that happening, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's again just because it's a social construct that has been engraved in us for so long. It's hard to also be like just let go,
Yeah.
you know? So again, for me it's like just be patient with yourself and not like be mad at yourself for feeling some type of way. That's always what I say. Like it's a process, right? We cannot just break social constructs within one generation. It's too much pressure,
Exactly.
right? It's too much pressure. So yeah, like my advice would be just again recognize what is happening, try to fix it, but be empathic towards yourself because it's just being a human. It's that's what life is about, you know. So just take it one day at a time on that.
Exactly. And actually, that's a great transition as always. Thank you, Saran, for the advices. So I've prepared for you 3 advice for you to feel even more okay about building your life at your own pace. My first advice is super simple. It's just something we tend to forget. But my advice would be to breathe. You know, take a breath in,
Yep.
hold it, and breathe out. It's so simple. It will like release all the tension, all everything you might feel, you know, whenever you feel stressed or under pressure. It's just a simple tool that we often forget. That was the first one. My second advice would be that I figure that as human we forget to be aware of our past achievements. We don't take any time, you know, to do that retrospective work, and we tend to forget the past. We are deeply focusing on the present, looking even more focused on the future, but forget what we have already accomplished. And look at all the things that you've accomplished and that went actually according to plan, you know. For instance, I wanted to get a baccalaureate by the age I was 17. That actually happened. I wanted to get graduated by the age I was 25. That happened. I wanted to be financially independent by 25. That actually also happened. So take a step back, you know, to realize everything you've already done that actually are just paced the way you want it, and that would remove, you know, some pressure because you were able to do it, and you are gonna be able to do it again and build your own path again. You can do it because you've already done it. All right. And my third and last advice would be to remind yourself that a plan is always flexible and adjustable. By that I mean that I'm someone who always likes to plan. You know, I plan like short term, mid-term, long term, and whenever I get the plan, I would have a plan B or plan C if things don't go according to plan, etc. But I wanted you also to add another plan that I will call plan. How did I call it? The plan unknown. By that I mean it's a plan that you cannot control, that you don't know what is gonna happen if you take that route. You don't know because I mean things can happen that you cannot control. It's just the unknown, but prepare yourself for that. So prepare yourself physically and mentally to be aware that there are some things that can happen that you haven't prepared, but you're gonna be okay because you're already mentally prepared for that. I don't know if that's clear enough, but yeah.
No, it is clear. I mean, yeah, it's everybody should always be prepared for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And again, that's why I feel like whenever you go through experiences, you know, it makes you feel ready for that. And people don't show their failures.
Mm.
It's rare that people show their failures. All they want to show is, oh, I've done great for myself. I've had this beautiful job. I'm married and all that. But you don't think about all the heartbreaks you had. You don't think about all the rejections you have, or at least you don't show it, right?
Yes.
So the unknown is just, for me, like it really depends on the individual. Be prepared for it, and again, just do not compare your journey to anybody else, because anybody
Exactly.
had like that unknown moments. Everybody has
Exactly.
it even now, you know. So
And
just that's
And actually, whenever
Yes.
you feel that you're wasting your time or you're actually going too fast, you know that you're not at the right pace, that either society or yourself put pressure on that road to happen. It's never a waste of time. It's just another route with new opportunities and with your own, life being built differently on another route. It's never a waste of time. And yeah, that was really what I wanted to share with you. It's okay to build your life at your own pace, because it's your life and it's your pace and it's your time frame. So it's okay.
Yes, I like the message, and thank you. It's always inspiring. Yeah, we just had, especially us two, we had like, I guess, such an interesting part of our lives, like in our late, turning late 20s, and like we still are figuring it out. We're doing great, but we're
Yeah.
still figuring it out, and it's just always a good message to hear, basically. And
Yes.
we hope you guys will get inspired by it as well.
Yes. I really hope you like it, as Salmon seems to have liked it, which I love. Please comment if you want, share as much as possible, and yeah, in the meantime, take care of yourself. You have to, with everything going on, just take care of yourself. And yeah, we'll be back for another episode soon. So follow us on social media for everything around the Power universe. And yeah, in the meantime, don't forget to bring out the power in.
How in you.
Yes, the power in you. Bye bye.
You.